The U.S. positions on that haven't changed, as you just said, when it comes to the no-fly zone. But on the aircraft specifically, the Pentagon said last week that Secretary Austin said they do not support the transfer of additional fighter aircraft at this time. Is that still the United States' position?
Would a strike in Poland on supplies or anything really automatically be met with a forceful response, or simply a conversation amongst allies about how to respond?
There are reports that a Russian drone made its way into Polish airspace before going back to Ukraine and being shot down. Does a drone into Poland count?
Former ambassador to Ukraine, Maria Ivanovich, has been quite outspoken recently, and she said we need to mitigate risk, but it's also true that not taking greater action comes with a risk as well, because Putin is a bully and he only understands strength. Is the president showing enough strength against Putin?
Okay, so that was a little compilation put together by The Intercept of a number of questions coming at Jen Psaki during the White House press briefing. It has one common message there. We're not saying we want to go to war with Russia, but would this be a red line? Would that be a red line? When are you gonna do more? And look, to be clear, I have been skeptical of the claims made that the run up to this war has been as warmongery as in some in the past. The run up with war with Iraq and all that. I don't think that anytime you turn on cable news, you're just gonna be hearing, here's why war is awesome and we should do more of it, which very much has been true of effectively every other military conflict that the US has potentially faced entering into. I don't think that's what we've seen, but you can't deny that some of these reporters, for whatever reason, and maybe Rashad, maybe we can debate why, they really do feel some obligation to ask questions that seem to needle to just push a little bit in the direction of us getting more directly involved. What do you think?
Yeah, it's real simple, man. They want to go back to their particular news agency and have the top story because they were able to goad somebody into saying something that may have been sensational. Effect be damned. They're not concerned about the effect of it. They're concerned about them being connected to a #1 article or headline because they got somebody to say something like that during a White House briefing. And I know people would like to think it's more complex than that and that people are deeper than that. They're not. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I like that the Biden administration, Psaki too, they seem to have been they don't feel like they need to play into it, at least so far. I don't feel like, just to the extent that the reporters, like you said, maybe they just want a big quote, something sensational. Maybe they feel like, you're supposed to ask oppositional questions. Like maybe they think that's what they're supposed to be doing. I personally think it's incredibly dangerous, but Biden hasn't fallen into the trap. I don't see, based on polls, any indication that the American people are wavering in terms of whether they think we should get directly involved. But I am worried about how this situation might evolve. If the war isn't wrapped up in a couple of weeks, if this goes on for 6 months, what are the questions gonna be like then? What are the American people gonna think about this conflict? Once it goes from the biggest news story of every day to the quagmire in Ukraine, is it possible that they might be a little bit more supportive of increased US involvement? How do you see this developing over time?
That's a great question. And here's the choice that we will all have to make as a country. If this conflict continues with no remedy, then what we pay will continue to rise. We will pay more at the gas pump. We will pay more in our consumer products. That's already starting to happen. It will actually increase. And the fundamental decision that Biden will probably need to make within a month is, how is this engagement impacting not only Ukraine, but also the average American citizen? That's a tough call to make, John. I would like to be able to say, I'm okay. I'm okay with paying a little more money for this or that for the sake of democracy. But I don't want to speak for the single mother who has $100 of disposable income and that's it. All right, I don't want to make that call for her. Okay, that's a tough call.
Yeah, and I would feel overall a lot more comfortable if over the past year the Biden administration had shown more of a durable willingness to help out regular Americans too.
That's right.
Put the money into Ukraine, yeah. do that. I want you to do that. Feel like our massive bloated military budget could probably take care of that anyway. I don't know why new spending is needed when we're spending $800 billion a year on our military, but fine. But also do the child tax credit, do all of the other things that you promised you would do. Give the relief from student debt and all that. Then it would be a little bit easier for people to sign on to, God only knows when these sacrifices will be asked to make will end.
Yeah, and it shows you how schizophrenic our policy is in America. Without a blink, right? We got all of this extra money going to Ukraine, and it's needed, it's necessary, it's appropriate. But at the same time, we have to be critical and question the fact that we have initiatives that are unfunded and underfunded right here in America. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up. That's contrary to progress.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.